looking at black people. CNN calls it digital blackface. It's sad. Where there isn't racism, CNN just has to invent it. They're so desperate for relevance that they'll push division any way they can. CNN.com writer John Blake writes that digital blackface is, quote, where white people co-opt online expressions of black imagery, slang, catchphrases, or culture to convey comic relief or to express emotions and inadvertently perpetuate one of the most insidious forms of contemporary racism. He adds, put simply, digital blackface is 21st century minstrelsy. Minstrelsy. That's how it's spelled. To which I can only respond with this. That's right. I just committed digital blackface. I doubt it's worse than the traditional liberal version of blackface. Mine's much easier on the pores. Now, if you happen to love Fred Sanford as much as I do, and you meme him, that's a racialized reaction because he's black. And what if I use Eddie Murphy giving the A-OK sign? That's got to make Joy Reid's head explode. No worries, if that happens, there's no mess to clean up. So you memed Murphy. That means, according to John Blake, you co-opted culture. What a pathetic idiot. It's like he believes he had a role in that culture, and therefore he must protect it. Oh, you white knight. Sorry, black knight. In fact, all of these accusers of cultural appropriation foolishly think that they can be a custodian to a history that they had no role in. They didn't make Sanford and Son. They had nothing to do with Beverly Hills Cop. Now imagine if all of us embraced their beliefs that all cultures must be separated, that the only people who would be eligible for antibiotics would be white British males. Because it's their culture, after all, literally. But see, we don't care. Idris Elba playing a Norse god? Have at it. That's what actors do. Hell, you could remake Crazy Rich Asians with Native Americans, and I could give it. I can already see who plays the mom. Now, when I was growing up in the late 90s, I was taught America was a melting pot where all different kinds of people could get along. Now that pot's gone cold, and the only melting we see is Nancy Pelosi's face. Now we're seeing calls for cultural and racial resegregation. We've replaced patriotism with identity politics. So instead of unifying under one idea, we divide into tribes, which is how the media wants it. Races fighting each other instead of them. And make no mistake, this new separatism is racism. It's just repackaged, like when CNN moved Don Lemon to the morning show. Racial separatists like to say things like, my culture is not your costume, as if culture is something to be hoarded instead of shared. But there are, oddly enough, exceptions, like when Dylan Mulvaney, a male, or once a male, co-opts an entire gender, mocking it with girly stereotypes, and still lands an interview with our senile president. Poor Joe Biden. He probably thought Audrey Hepburn needed a shave. But again, I don't care. We're not into division. That's bigotry. Especially since the same people saying that you shouldn't enjoy other cultures are the same ones who complain that if you leave out minorities, you're erasing them. Sorry, this is America, and you're free to participate in our rich, diverse culture in its entirety. That's the whole damn point of this place. You can use any meme you want. You can sing any song you want. Unless it's Maroon 5. Then capital punishment is the only option.